Hi, everybody, and welcome to another Kalicube Tuesdays. It's me, Jason Barnard, with Burkay Alpyildiz.
Yes, that's kind of a little difficult name. That's a Turkish name. And in order to eliminate all these, I use a Starbucks name, Bob.
A quick hello, and we're good to go. Welcome to the show, Burkay Bob.
Thanks for having me, Jason.
Thank you. You got me out of a tricky situation. I could just sing Burkay Bob, which is actually quite a cool name. Talking of names, obviously on this show, first thing we do is look at your brand SERP. There's your brand SERP. I would imagine your name is fairly unique.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, that's a quite unique name. I have never seen any Burkay Alpyildiz before.
Brilliant. Okay, and so unique names are absolutely delightful. And as you can see for us, we've already got our place there in the images. And I wanted to show that as well because we've got the images going almost all the way across the screen. They move over from the right rail into the left rail, which is unusual. It's a feature Google are trying out. Anybody who's interested in this geeky stuff, join the Kalicube Knowledge Panel and Brand SERP support group, and we can help you with that. But I started to get interested in your name because I saw that there are only 373 results. So not only have you got a unique name, but you haven't done much online. So I then looked at all the other tabs, and we've got very small numbers in every single Google result. And in fact, this show is dominating. So we've got 373 in the all overview. We've got nothing at all in Google News. Only 75 results in the videos, and the images stop after about 20. I'm astonished. I've never seen so little content around a person's name or a company name in brand SERP universe. And last thing, and then we can talk about it, you tell me why, is I thought, well, maybe in Turkey or in Turkish. Nope, same problem. Exactly the same thing. In Turkey, in Turkish, 447 results. So unique name, and no real online presence. Why?
That may be because of the nature of my job and business. And I'm working, think about me like a company doctor. And people have issues and problems in their businesses. And I help them out. I catalyze them, and I help them out with the consumer experience, the customer experience, B2B, B2C experiences. And then I leave the conversation. And that may be the reason why I'm not that active, and I don't have any products or services direct to the consumer. So that I think that may be the reason why I don't have that much of presence at the moment. But I should really definitely focus on that.
Yeah, well, you're lovely because you're a unique case in terms of both your name and the amount of online information there is about you. And that made me very curious. Thank you for answering the question. Really quickly, before we get talking about the EoT, enough of things, and Phygital explained, I mean, my immediate reaction was, enough of things, that sounds really interesting. Phygital, no idea what that means. Makes it incredibly interesting. Can you give me the 30-second summary of what we're going to be talking about?
So we're going to be talking about the new chapter of the book. So we are now writing a book in history, and everything is pouring on us, digital, physical, the new technologies and everything. And we have all these technologies on one side, and in the other side, there's the society. So that's why we need a tool to blend and create a fruitful blend of all these together and create a Phygital experience. That's what I would explain.
Right, okay. So from my perspective, and I don't know about the audience, still doesn't make sense. So that's the aim of this episode. You need to transfer from your brain into mine exactly what that means.
Yeah.
So before we get going, really quickly, you're listening to Branded Search and Beyond with Jason Barnard, produced in partnership with WordLift, who are an amazing company in Rome who have an AI-powered SEO tool that does the heavy lifting for you. They're wonderful and genius. And our featured Kalicube Pro agency is Site Strategics. company run by this guy, Erin Sparks, who's delightful, and they use Kalicube Pro as an agency for entity SEO. If you're interested in an agency, please do contact us. We're the ultimate platform for brand SERPs and knowledge panels. Now, back to enough of things and Phygital explained. You're about to explain to me again, because I'm slow at understanding. Off you go, Burkay.
Yeah. Well, the term Phygital sounds like a exotic fruit. Yeah. I know this is not easy to understand in the first at first, but the Phygital, I'll try to keep it as simple as possible, is a very good and fruitful blend of physical experiences and digital experiences together. Thinking of brick and mortar retail.
Right.
In the regular retail, in the conventional retail stores, we go to a store, we have the racks, we have the clothes, and we try them on in the cabinets, and then we decide to buy it or not. Yep. In a Phygital experience, this can bring the whole experience into a next level by having an app which you don't have to wait in the queue for the cabinets to try. Even you don't have to have the clothes with you to try the cabinets. You just need a mirror, and you just need a smart Phygital solution at the cabinet to try the clothes on, and you can just swipe the clothes and see it on your self on the mirror. Right. So that can be that we can call a very good example of Phygital experience.
Right. Okay. So because I come from the world of the web, and one of the first things I did way back in 1999 or 2000 was build a thing where you could put clothes on the blue dog and yellow koala that I was creating with my ex-wife. Sounds like those children's games where you dress up the doll, which theoretically you can actually do now. It's not even theoretically. On some online stores, you can dress a model in the clothes, so you don't even need to go to the store. No, but this is taking it to the next level of seeing yourself. Go ahead, sorry.
And also, first we have to define the Phygital, and which we explained. However, at the same time, while we are implementing all these technological tools in our daily lives, we should be really aware of the social impacts, the after effects of this revolution.
Right.
That's where enough of things comes to the table.
Right. Okay. So what you're saying with Phygital, we're going to get more and more involved in the technology with the physical world in these shop examples, and even online, which is simply digital, but a similar experience. I'm stuck on the clothes example. And it's going to ruin society?
It's not. I don't call it ruining, but that Phygital experience has to be carefully designed, and we shouldn't discard people in the real world.
Which is what I did. I immediately said, you just go online and you use a model and you do the clothes, and the people are no longer in the equation. I've just bought online.
Then ask this to yourself. What is this lady that are showing you to the cabinets? What's that lady gonna do if she's laid off from the store?
Right. Yeah. Good. Well, yeah, we're in that world at the moment, in the sense that
and this is really concerning me a lot, because the population is growing really fast. It's slowing down, but still fast. But the number of jobs that are the layoffs, with the layoffs and everything, the number of jobs are shrinking, especially in the low-level jobs, and those people has to do something to live their life. And while living their life, not everyone can be a Uber driver.
No.
Or not everyone can be an Instacart delivery person.
Yep, and not everybody can build technologies to put clothes on people.
That's exactly the situation. So we are living in an era that we have to find the social and anthropological, solutions to solve this problem that is going to be coming in the next 10 years.
Right. And when you say designing Phygital to account for that, what kind of things are you thinking of?
Well, especially while you're creating a Phygital experience, yes, we involve technology, but we still have to, for a certain amount of time in the future, we still have to consider the people who are in the real world, in the physical world, that are serving for this purpose. Because having a total digital experience, yes, it's fantastic, and I love digital experiences. I love using technology in my daily life that leverages my life, that can enhances my life. However, at the same time, when you leave if you don't go to a store anymore, you can see on Fifth Avenue like a lot of stores being closed, and now a lot of office buildings are turning into residential buildings now in New York City. So there is like a huge change going on. And with all these, when we discard people from our lives while involving more technology in our lives, we should also find a solution too, because it's going to be like we shouldn't be driving them to, drugs, to theft, or to any other, bad influence in the society.
Right. So yeah, society needs to adapt alongside the fundamental changes of Phygital. And the thing about you were talking about the COVID pandemic, that's accelerated the process because we've all suddenly got used to buying from home and not meeting each other anymore.
Just 2 years, everything has suddenly changed. We have empty stores. We have, checkout, self-checkout points in almost every, supermarket. And those like 20 registers, they have now only 18 people. Let's put 5 of them in the store. And where are the others?
A couple of interesting points. I live next to my supermarket and I walk to the supermarket, and you literally, I think it must be 18, maybe it's 15. 15 checkouts, even at the busiest times. There's only 4 or 5 of them being staffed, and then they're using the automatic checkout. And when I go to the automatic checkout, I kind of think, well, at least it's faster, that's cool. But I'm actually quite glad when it beeps because I'm trying to buy beer. And somebody has to come and badge it because I don't look like I'm 18 years old.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that a physical human being comes over and says, here you go, badges, and smiles at me. And that's going to be a huge, huge loss, is that human connection that I'm going to miss personally. I already miss it, and it's hardly even started.
And I don't want to find ourselves in the next 10 years in one of those, animation movies that we get fatter and fatter, and we just eat food and we just do the keyboard work only.
Right. I can name that film, and it's Wall-E. And they're all in the spaceship, and Wall-E's cleaning up Earth because we've made a total mess of it. It's a really great film. And Wall-E, which is the robot, doesn't speak, and yet he communicates, or she communicates, incredibly well throughout the film. It's a brilliant film. I'm a huge fan of animated cartoons.
And in the future, I will see digital, especially in the brick and mortar businesses. I will see digital as the old ugly sister of Phygital. And it's going to be like, the Phygital will be like smart, beautiful, talented, and will bring more onto the table, and will help people to, get to the next level.
Right. And so digital is going to be tomorrow's Cinderella.
Phygital,
tomorrow's Cinderella before she transformed, and Phygital's going to be Cinderella once she becomes the princess, or something along those lines. So I'm getting obsessed by cartoons again. You shouldn't have got me into that. Can we come back to Phygital? Because the first thing I said is, isn't Phygital the relationship between my phone and Google Maps and me going into shops? And you said that's not it at all.
Well, it is something like a Phygital experience, but you have to have an output. It's not only finding your way, but it needs an interaction with the product. What is Phygital is that you use Google Maps, looking at the buildings, and seeing the ratings on the buildings. That's a total phygital experience.
Right. Okay. And in fact, Google Maps recently, I was in Rome visiting my friends at WordLift, and it said, do you want to improve the accuracy of Google Maps for you today? And it said point at any building. And I pointed at I've picked the most boring building on purpose, a building that could have been anywhere.
Yeah.
And it immediately went, okay, thank you. And it pinpointed me within a meter immediately. And there's an output for you.
Yeah. And also when you look into Google Photos, there's going to be an icon on the lower right corner. You take a photo of anything and it shows you where you can buy it.
Right.
So these
so
are
for you, that is phygital.
It is a phygital thing because I point the camera to you. I take a photo of you, your shirt, and I know where I can find that shirt from and for how much.
Right.
This is like a simple phygital experience. And
I like the fact, that my best idea is a simple phygital experience. So I'm still the old Cinderella rather than the new one.
No. The world is pulling us there.
Right.
So we have no chance. We are going to be there sooner or later. And it seems like with the new evolution step forward, we will be there quite sooner than we think. And go ahead.
No, I was actually going to ask another question, and after this we can go back to your phygital examples. The second one with the phone that I was thinking of is what Google or we call implicit reviews, which is the Android phone tracks me into a shop. It knows the shop is next door to my house. If I never go back, that's an explicit bad review. An implicit, bad review. And if I keep going back to the same coffee shop every day, it's an implicit positive review. Would that count as phygital?
Well, if you drop a review together with a photo and having an interaction with the store, with the coffee shop, there with your phone, then it becomes phygital.
Lovely. Okay, you've made me happy because that was what I had in mind. So it's a very small and baby part of phygital. Can you give me another example of a more advanced step of phygital?
What I did today was to ask ChatGPT the best 10 examples of phygital. So I'm just gonna read a few of them.
Brilliant.
Because ChatGPT is the new black.
It is, yeah.
And here, what it has listed is out of 10, because I limited with 10. If I asked 20, it was going to bring me 20.
Yeah, sure.
And it's unbelievable. It's magic. And that really excites me a lot for the future, because that's going to be a lot bringing on the table. And it's open for a lot of fundamental changes in education, in business, in everything. Because that kind of information being serviced by an AI, which you were trying to find it like in hours, it brings in seconds. This is magic. So what ChatGPT listed me today is like, the first one is virtual reality shopping experiences in physical stores that we have talked.
Right.
Or it is an in-store virtual reality product demonstration.
Okay.
So you come to the shelf, all the pastas are there, and you scan one of the barillas. And that barilla brings to your screen the recipe of what you can do with that particular type of pasta, in how many minutes, and with which wine.
Okay.
So this is like a really nice and simple example of a phygital experience.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Or you're you're walking on the street in the public displays or in the public spaces. you just like Google does. You have your camera on and your Google Maps on, and you just browse the street, and it brings you all the shopping opportunities on that street with all the reviews and all the bad and good reviews at the same time. This is a great example.
Yeah, and that's what we all thought was going to happen with Google Glasses 10 years ago, and it didn't.
Yeah.
But with the phone, yeah, I get that. But the thing with Google Glasses is that you couldn't get away from them. Whereas with holding the phone up is something you can actually.
Yeah, I remember the first days of it, and it was on CES in Las Vegas. People from Google were wearing those glasses in the parties, and it was like fancy and nice and beautiful, and they were telling people that this is going to be the future of things. And unfortunately, it took like around 10 years to come to this point. But, it's going to be way faster from now on.
I thought you were going to say they were all wearing glasses and they kept falling over. That would have been really funny. Anyway, sorry, what's the next idea on the list from ChatGPT?
Okay. Let me see. Okay, the QR code scavenger hunts in museums and art galleries.
Ooh.
Or there are healthcare solutions as well in Phygital. Because there's a patient in Singapore and in New York City, in Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, the doctor can use digital tools, to diagnose the disease of the patient in Singapore way easier. In like 5 seconds, they got all the reports, they got all the test results and everything, and they can provide the healthcare services remotely to the other side of the world, which is like a quite important step in the healthcare industry as well. Or like telemedicine. After the pandemic, telemedicine like going crazy.
Yeah.
Everyone is like bringing, telemedicine solutions because people are also fine with that. They don't want to, they don't have time to visit the doctor's office and wait for 2 hours. And it's just easy. You just have it on the phone or on the Zoom that you get this solution right away.
So my Zoom call with my doctor, because I'm too lazy to walk down the street and go into his cabinet, is Phygital at its simplest, a Zoom call.
Yeah, that's it. But it's like a very simple way of, very simple Phygital experience.
Yeah, I'm still baby steps in Phygital. Remember, I'm 22 minutes into my Phygital career.
Well, it's gonna be we're gonna be like talking more and more in the next couple of years, and hopefully maybe like in a couple of months when we talk again, we can discuss more in detail about the real examples that has been done so far the last 3 months.
Well, at the minute, it's kind of really limited, and the simple examples are the ones that I've come up with because they're the only ones I've seen. And then you've also got Amazon with their self-checkout, where they don't even bother with the self-checkout. You just walk out the door and it scans everything.
That's it. And you don't.
And they're having huge problems.
Yes, because the problem is they're also not with the in the Whole Foods, in the self-checkouts, they're also struggling with like shoplifting because not in every self-checkout you can't put one person because it's going to be like the traditional cashier solution. However, then you have the shopper and the self-checkout together alone, you have the risk for shoplifting. However, but you don't have the same problem in Amazon Go stores. Because if it's not paid or if it's not scanned, it doesn't open the doors to you.
Right, okay.
But that stores, the Amazon Go stores, that totally discards the people. They only have 2 people in the store. One for putting the products on the shelves, and one for the security. That's it.
But that just strikes 2 things in me. Number one is that perhaps Amazon are running before we can walk, just like Google with the glasses. And the second is
that's right.
that's hugely illustrative of the social problem that's coming and
Yeah.
that we need to deal with, which we can kind of wrap up with that in terms of the social problem is huge,
Mhm,
and most
mhm.
people don't see it coming.
And also the governments are now offering like educational policies for less fortunate communities, and to educate them to take part in the new era, and like coding classes for people, and tuition intensives that they provide for people to educate themselves in the colleges in the US, because it's a serious situation. You have to pay like 10,000 at least a semester to get educated. So not everyone has that opportunity to pay for those education.
Yeah.
And so these governments are like stepping up and creating kind of solutions. And this needs to be more and more to make sure that we won't have these consequences. We're not going to face these consequences in the next couple of years.
Right, and so we have a huge retraining program that's necessary for humankind across the world. So we can actually end with the hugest problem, thanks to Phygital or no thanks to Phygital, depending on how you look at it. Humankind is going to have to retrain. That's astonishing. I didn't expect this conversation at all. We have one last question, which we struggled with earlier on, just having a quick look, is how can Phygital help with branded search? Or how does branded search tie in with Phygital? After this conversation, do you think we're any closer to a way that the two come together?
Well, not the very minute after this conversation, but what I see now is Phygital is not being like involved in the branded search yet, but we're going to be hearing more and more in the next chapter of this book. So that's what we are going, and we will know more about Phygital experiences in the brand search, in our real lives, in everywhere.
That's a really good answer, and it's the first time, and I hope the only time, that we're going to have somebody who says, well, actually, there is no real relationship today, and it's because you're a precursor in the world and in your own industry already, Burkay. Thank you so much. That was absolutely brilliant. It was fascinating. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I'm now going to introduce Will Laurenson for next week, The Key to a Perfect Website, very much more on the digital side than the physical or the Phygital side. Will Laurenson is super smart, delightful conversation with him. Could you pass the baton, Burkay?
Dear Will, I'm now passing the baton to you for the next week's conversation with lovely Jason Barnard.
Oh, thank you. I like the lovely. You get a song for that. A quick goodbye to end the show. Thank you, Burkay Bob.
Thanks for having me.
I love the singing back. Oh, Kalicube. It's all about your brand SERP.